Kia ora everybody, I am currently all set in Indiana Jones mode in my preparation for the Great Circle that releases in December. I don't have too many other additional Indiana Jones sets here to cover, but I still wanted to celebrate the game's release somehow, so I thought why not take a look at a couple sets that LEGO themselves forgot to remake and cover last year with the revival wave. This here is set 7682, the Shanghai Chase based on Temple of Doom, released in 2009. This was part of the second wave of LEGO Indiana Jones sets post Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls release. Wave 2 was pretty interesting actually. It was basically like an apology wave for a lack of presence for the sequels in Wave 1. Temple of Doom only received 2 sets here in total, and that's now even including the revival wave, because unfortunately the Temple of Doom remake set was cancelled due to, at least from my understandings, still yet to be disclosed reasons, but the community does theorize that it's just general controversy with the depictions of cults and slaves from the film. 244 pieces in total here and 5 minifigures, 4 of which remain exclusive, as retailed for the American price of $29.99 back in 2009, which translated to around 50 to 60 NZD. Nowadays, the current value for this set in sealed condition is about 300 NZD or 170 NZD in used condition. I paid a lot less than $170 this year, but I still think I paid quite a bit for what is essentially 2 vehicles. And the set overview here are 2 vehicles, period piece cars depicting the Shanghai Chase sequence from the beginning of the film. One of the few cons that the theme suffers in my eyes is the abundance of vehicle-based sets over playsets. There are still playsets, but still, I would have preferred to have seen Club Obi-Wan here, but 2009 was a very different era for the company. My appreciation for these vehicles here comes in the form of the LEGO games, which I replayed last year before Dial of Destiny released. These vehicles here are drivable in the games, and I really grew to just appreciate the designs as I was trying to 100% them. I feel pretty lucky that I was able to find this listing just this year in the second-hand market. We start off with our hero convertible, which Short Round manages in the film as Indy's getaway driver, based on a 1930s Duesenberg Auburn convertible. As I've mentioned in the past, it's the period piece setting for this theme that makes it one of my all-time favorites. It's tied up there with The Simpsons, really. I've always been a big fan of the 1920s to 50s aesthetic of that time period, especially when adapted into LEGO. I just think it makes for really great displays for your shelves. Unfortunately, for the review sakes, these cars don't do too much, something that LEGO would change as the years went on, in which they would develop more action theme based sets with some play features. I'll remove all of our figures here for a bit of a closer look at the vehicle. The Indiana Jones line used this really cool chunky vehicle piece here in the middle, which I believe was used in the Explorer-like themes, but it hasn't been used in quite a while. One of the main features here is that the roof is made of a fabric-like material that LEGO usually uses for sails on pirate ships. The roof there has an opening flap which allows a minifigure to be placed inside. This is because in the movie, Indy and Willie crash land into the car through the roof. The back of the cab there also features this brick, which is removable, but I can't seem to figure out why. There appears to be some very minor space here for what I assume to be maybe like a hat, but the piece can't actually reconnect fully with the hat inside, so I'm not too sure what this is here for. Maybe someone can let me know if I'm reading into things or not. The removal of the fabric roof here is very easy. It's just 2 droid arms here, and now we can fit everyone inside. And I can confirm all minifigures can fit in the car, though they don't all connect via bricks. Indy does just sit there in place through the opening flap. I like it overall though. It's a cool little LEGO vehicle that looks great on a display since it captures that time period so well. But it's now time to take a look at the villain's ride for the set. This is Lao She's vehicle, which is based on a 1930s Rio Flying Cloud sedan series. So we get 2 really cool vehicles that are very distinct from one another in this set. Very unique designs and easily what makes this an appealing addition to the line. This here appears as more of a classic gangster vehicle from all those famous mob movies, and it's amazing that LEGO made something like this in a good way. I'm really appreciative that this does exist the exact way that it does, because I know it's a bit more unlikely nowadays that LEGO might consider making something like this. If you remove these figures here, the vehicle's massive compared to that convertible, which I thought was really funny because this vehicle here seats less figures than the convertible does. Shape and size are really good here. They use some of those Harry Potter wand pieces there for handles and the same body part as the convertible, but now recolored in black. The roof is removable. It's a big chunk of parts held on by just a few studs there. You can see the amount of room at the back there, which seems to be enough to fit another figure. We can sit all of the figures here at the front, and for my display, I like to have one of them hanging off by the side there. Trying to fit someone in the back now, it looks like they need to be seated, and even then that hat will interfere with the roof, but it looks like it could possibly be used as a small jail-like area for, say, Short Round or something. The most appealing part for most sets for many people are the minifigures. As I mentioned earlier, we have 5 great figures here, with 4 of them remaining exclusive to this day. For the first time ever here on this channel, we have a brand new Indiana Jones figure to look at. I think this might be the 5th or 6th review I've done of the classic theme, and now we have a brand new appearance. This Indy here comes dressed in a tuxedo based on his appearance at Club Obi-Wan. I love the simple changes that have been made here for him, including his revolver and a hat as accessories, because he does come with an alternate hairpiece. I just love that simple suave look that we have here, and the series 2 of this theme would be repeating this with new variants for Indy in more than a handful of sets. That torso is so useful for making a really great looking custom Bond in his Goldfinger appearance. With the hat, he does look a bit silly to me, so I will just be keeping him with the regular hairpiece. The new Indiana Jones figure here is great, and I'm so happy to have him as he remained exclusive to the set. This here is Willie Scott, appearing in 2 sets in total, but this variant here does remain exclusive. The appearance is pretty cool. I really like that style of the dress she has there and the tiara piece in her hair, which I didn't think they were doing that as early as the 2000s. She comes with a rare peacock's eye diamond, which Indy is trying to bargain for at the beginning of the film. It's a very distinct looking figure, and she does feature a double-sided expression, which was still kind of a rarity of the time. It features a worried, screaming look, which is fitting for her character, who is regularly bothering both Indy and Short Round. The Indiana Jones line used the same feature of bright blue eyes for a few of the women in the sets, a design choice I always thought was quite strange in contrast to the regular heads we see on everyone else. Willie Scott is still a very cool figure though, as well as Indy. And then here we have Short Round, who I believe is probably the unanimous fan favorite side character of the series, only appearing in 1 film as well. Probably the most sought after figure I believe in both sets, and I say that because he is the only figure who is not exclusive here. This exact same figure does release in the Temple of Doom set, where Willie and Indy both received brand new variants. Short Round is really cool though, and I must say, I'm glad that I have this figure now in LEGO for my collection, because I think it still holds up even to today's standards. I think his expressive facial details there is probably some of the best from this line specifically. Looks very clear to me which character this figure is meant to be representing, though I do wish we could have seen a remake with a hair hat combo piece. An ideal piece doesn't really exist currently. There's some okay enough alternatives, but I do think that this actually kind of works without the hairpiece though. It might just be because I'm so used to looking at him like this. This here is one of our first gangster figures, simply named the Shanghai Gangster in the set, even though in my eyes he does seem to resemble the villain of Lao She just because they have the same facial hair as one another. This simple figure is pretty great in its execution with that mobster suit, which could be used for many of your own personal customs. It only ever released in this set, and you do get 2 of them. There are no extras here included like a hairpiece or something else for different accessories, just that classic revolver piece. The next gangster figure is virtually the exact same figure as the previous one, all except for that head printing, which is unique and remained exclusive here. That face print there features a smirking expression, which does look villainous and quite effective to me. Very striking figures, and cool to have villains that weren't just the casual soldiers again, something that was a little bit different. The instructions here for the set come in a little bit of a bigger booklet that you flip to a horizontal view, and inside we see some rough theming of what looks to be old map-like designs, back when LEGO used to do constant theming in their manuals. The back here features just 1 car complete, and then we have a page of the inventory list before we move on to a 2-page spread here on features for the set, and an advertisement for some other options. The features here as shown in the video were simply just the fabric roof of the car having an opening, and the villain's car can remove its roof as well. It seems to suggest here that Short Round can fit in that small space. I can already tell that he's way too big though for that whole thing to be close up again. And then down below we have a German fighter plane set with the Brute type enemy. It's a really cool set that I have actually covered on this channel before for all of those interested. Turning over once more, we then have an advertisement for mostly Wave 1, missing a couple of the inclusions though. There's a heavy emphasis here for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull releases and some of the other sets from Wave 1 which were due for retirement by the time this set released. I'm yet to have all of these in my collection, mark my words though, that is the personal collecting goal for this channel. The other side then features good old Max and the LEGO Club magazine and the winning stuff page on the back. Overall, while the set here doesn't achieve too much as far as play features go, I still really like it. These are period piece designs, which is something that we just don't see from LEGO nowadays, especially to this kind of a scale. If you're wanting a period piece setting from LEGO, you're going to be looking at a higher piece count and a higher price point. Ironic then that I'm talking about this 2009 set, which in today's world of 2024 does actually go for a couple of $100s in the aftermarket space. I think it's a really cool idea from Temple of Doom to adapt to this scene. Very special minifigures included, and the models look really great. I'm happy with this one overall. That's it from me today. You should let me know what your thoughts are down below. Liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more future videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching everyone. Ka kite anō. I hope to see you all next time.